All right. Welcome back to the MikiDz Podcast, episode 38. Good Lord, 38.
Yeah,
that's how old you are, right, Joe?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
All right, you're good. We're good. 30.
Man, I might be in quarantine during my birthday. I might be locked down.
We gotta protect Dainjazone at all costs. Listen, he's the oldest one of the group.
For real. You shouldn't even be here, matter of fact.
I should be on Zoom.
Yeah. You should phone in.
So we're here in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Burbank, California, in the Los Angeles County, and we just got word officially. And it's a good thing because we actually had a discussion earlier in the week where we normally record the podcast.
Yep.
Because there's a lot of shit going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every Monday, every moment is like something new.
Yeah.
Like some couple guys on the Lakers
got hit. Marcus Smart just got hit. We got tested positive.
Marcus
I
Smart.
saw that.
Damn, prayers.
Sean Payne, coach of the Saints.
The Saints, he came out.
Yeah.
He's
So
positive. So man, sports.
Kevin Durant.
Yeah,
it's big. This is big.
Yeah.
They didn't release who the other Nets players were yet, huh? They just said KD.
I think they just said KD.
I just saw KD.
I was like, man, I for sure know that bum ass Kyrie got it.
It's rude.
Why?
Why?
Yeah.
I'm just throwing it out there. I just want Kyrie.
something
Like if
against
someone
Kyrie,
gotta
huh?
have it, Kyrie should have it.
Anybody who's not a Knick.
He's always injured half the year anyways. Might as
Anybody
well
who's
have it.
True,
Shit.
he'd be out.
I was gonna say anybody who busted the Knicks' ass at the Garden, but that's everybody.
That's everybody. You know what I mean? Listen, you know.
That's the stat pumper. So we know 2 Lakers got it, and now I guess we're all waiting for hopefully nobody in the DJ community that we know has it. I've heard of some people in Nightlife.
Yeah.
So be safe, be careful, wash your hands,
And wash your ass.
I knew that was coming. And wipe everything down. It's a good time to practice hygiene and whatever else. I mean, we'll get into a little more different ideas and methods, but I am MikiWAR.
Yes, DJ Dainjazone.
Your boy DJ Rell.
And this is the MikiDz Podcast.
Yes, sir.
Brought to you by DJcity.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
If anybody coughs, they're getting punched in the throat. I'm just kidding.
We reacting.
What was that about? So, yeah, as we were mentioning, we were thinking about, we normally record our podcast Mondays, typically.
Yeah.
That's like our go-to. Yeah. And we met up and, we're all going to be honest with you. We got into a pretty good conversation between each other as friends and as podcasters that we had a responsibility to get on here. And, not to put anything too down, but we needed to get all the information because by no means are we professionals in any of these categories.
And we're recording this on Thursday, so
this is Thursday.
even Monday when this airs, a lot can change.
A lot can change.
Yeah.
So
I mean, a lot has changed since the Monday we had that conversation until today. And I can only imagine what's going to change by the time this airs on Monday.
Yeah.
So
I thought you were busting out the sanitizer.
Every 10 minutes.
Listen here. We on deck, baby. You want some? I got some for you. You ain't saying that but a word. You know what I'm saying?
Listen. Joe, you need some?
You know my motto.
Right
all right, good.
If you stay ready, you ain't never got to get ready.
That's right. Well, fully sanitized, fellas. How are we feeling?
Good.
Go around the table here.
I'm feeling good. Days ago, I don't know, maybe a week ago, whenever this hit, like I was definitely bummed, and I was just trying to figure out a lot of questions and whatnot, and then it was like, all right, got to get off my shoulders, make some moves, do some things, get creative, get in the studio, and that wasn't automatic. It took days for me to get to a neutral, well-balanced place.
Yeah.
And I'm feeling good about where I'm at right now.
Right now.
With just everything I'm doing at the crib, and we can get into what we're doing. But
you pumped out two videos already.
Yeah.
You got some content.
Got a couple videos.
God bless you for not going IG live on those. Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Mickey got something against IG Live.
I got nothing against it.
I got a problem with you going against IG Live.
Why?
Because you have said we shouldn't poke at any DJs who are just trying to figure out and put out content and make things happen.
Okay, I apologize for not providing what they should be doing instead.
Mm-hmm.
I have done that privately to people. Mm-hmm. To me, IG Live, if we want to get into it real quick, is a waste of time because
why do you feel that
it
way?
draws the least amount of engagement. And unless you're recording or holding that content to put it out elsewhere, like, I don't know what the numbers are, but like statistically, if you got, call it 10,000 followers, you're going to have like 10 people like watching your live, realistically. Like, so even people with millions of followers, right? They get a couple thousand. So I apologize for not fully being responsible for my words and being able to provide the solution. But I think you're better off being creative and coming up with a mix that has some context or something that can live longer and you can kind of pause and go back to. When you're on live, it's happening real time. Worse than Mixcloud. No shade to Mixcloud, but you can't even go back on Mixcloud, right? You could pause it and keep going forward.
Yeah.
Unless they fix that. I don't know. Okay.
Nope.
No.
Still a problem, right?
Still a thing.
So now you need to pay a monthly fee to see tracks.
Oh, the
track
premium.
list, premium,
All right.
That's why people can't see the track list.
That's the DJ's OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Back to that. But on IG Live, I just feel like, if you're not in the moment, you're gonna miss it. If you're not somebody really, really large, you're not giving yourself the best opportunity to take advantage of the time that you're investing into it. So that's my perspective. So I am wrong in not providing a different angle of how to go about it. But the whole, it's more so about it just being always at the top of your algorithm.
I agree that, the engagement is low, but I think at times like this, you need to grab whatever little bit of creative juices you can get and make the most of it. Even if it's just for 5 minutes or whatever, 15 minutes, I think, now's a good time to do something little like that. And to your point, it'd be great if you can save it, put it on YouTube or put it somewhere.
Well, Facebook or Twitch would be the better options if you're looking to get the most benefit of the content.
But, okay, so but my only concern with not even Facebook, but just Twitch, how many DJs are actually subscribed to Twitch in our opinion?
Well, I don't think DJs want to see other DJs most of the time. It's usually your following.
That's why I think it benefits on Instagram, because you're already on Instagram most of the day checking updates. And if it's up there, and again, like, I understand the engagement's super low, but I think if you're just trying to get shit out throughout the day, why not?
I don't know. I just think if you want the best opportunity to get the most engagement, or to get like Twitch, you can actually make some money from the situation. Or YouTube, you could monetize it, whatever. But obviously, YouTube has some very like strict copyright issues and stuff.
You can go live on YouTube
with certain labels. You can go live, but if they catch certain songs,
it's hard.
You play Drake, it's a wrap.
Yeah, it's hard.
Like,
to do
your shit shut down
on YouTube.
We've run into that issue with the MikiDz Show.
Yeah,
which is why we constantly stream on Facebook over anything. Now my phone is ringing on the whole thing. Shout out to Pops. Make sure you
hey, senor.
Nah, we'll leave it in there. We're a real live pod. Things are happening right now.
Things are happening in real time.
Yeah. So he'll get the call back later. But anyway, I don't know. So maybe I should have provided some more content. I'll go back on my social.
You got a lot of backlash from it, huh?
No. Because people know, like, look, if you're doing your thing, and it'd be one thing if, like, I was out there doing DJ videos, or like if I was doing live videos or streaming tricks and stuff like that, and then I was the one to be like, nah, don't be doing that now.
You'd be contradicting yourself.
I've seen trainers who are like, I don't want to see workout videos. Like, fam, we see yours all month. Like, sometimes it's going to happen. But everybody has their own followership. I don't mind that.
Yeah.
If it bothers me, I just mute you. It's a simple solution. But the problem with that is if you mute them, they still come back because of this damn live algorithm.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, yeah, for the time being, everyone's on social media. So it's like
everybody's finding their way.
Everyone's figuring it out.
I think with the IG Live thing, it gives people, as far as from the DJ's perspective, it gives you the opportunity, because a lot of us have lost gigs.
Yeah.
So it gives us that context to do something live.
Yeah.
Even if, like you said, there's only 10 people to do it, but it's like, I just need to get this out. Like, you know what I mean? I just want to just get in the mix.
And it still exists for 24 hours.
Yeah.
Right?
You know what I mean?
You got to save it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you save it and it'll sit there.
So, at least you have something for a day to live.
It is what it is.
And I guess it's small, but.
It is what it is,
Yeah.
I did see one funny tweet where it was like, DJs, we don't have to play our club sets on live. You can play whatever you want.
Yeah.
Be creative. Have a good time.
Again, what if the DJ loves doing that club stuff? You know, it's hard. It's hard. I think a lot of, with all this time, it's allowing people to be extremely judgmental on how people want to be creative.
That's Twitter.
And I mean, just in general, you know what I'm saying? Like at this time and moment, you got to be the least judgmental because people need an outlet right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like their whole world just got flipped upside down. So people need an outlet. So I've caught myself being judgmental and I'm like, yo, you gotta stop doing that shit.
Yep. We
gotta be positive in this time, at this moment in time. And we gotta just do it. And, you know, just be like, yo, I'm not gonna sit here and tell people what they should and should not do or have a judgment about what they're doing and how they're choosing to express themselves.
Yeah.
Or, you know, put out content or whatever. But, you know, it is what it is.
In my defense, I never judged or I never said anything. I just said I would mute you if you go live.
No. I hear you. I hear what you're saying.
I didn't go into
I'm not specifically talking about your thing. But I've been hearing a lot of people talk mad shit.
I just want to clean my tracks up a little bit.
Yeah.
Because my statement was very it's to me.
It's what I've noticed is I don't think people are putting so much I guess emotions. They're not investing so much emotions in what they're saying. They're just talking out their ass, and they got nothing else to do.
Yeah.
Because if I were to question that guy, then they would just hold a normal conversation. Well, you know, I didn't mean it like that, and you know, it's like okay, like. So clearly, if you didn't mean it like that, you were just bored. You just need to get some shit off your chest.
Yeah.
I think it was funny. I posted on Facebook my Fat Man Scoop Drop remix. And this guy, if you follow me, you can go look it up.
Lockdown.
This is before lockdown, but I was just introducing a new remix, and it was a Fat Man Scoop Drop
and
remix.
It's a good remix. I'm going to give you your flowers.
Thank you. And this guy says, another Fat Man Scoop remix, lame. But he puts it in text, you know? So instead of like punching back, I'm just questioning like, well, what's so lame about it? And he's like, we don't need another one. And it's like, well, you know, like I just kept, and this is, I think, how I'm going to handle ignorance from here on out. I'm just going to keep questioning your interests and how you're going about this and your motives until you realize how stupid you
sound. Exactly.
So I'm just be like, well, what makes it dumb? Well, did you hear another one?
Exactly. Get a better understanding.
You mean to tell me
person.
You don't play any Fat Man Scoop tracks? You mean that, you know, like, I'm just going to, because I know you're going to have to punch back. You're in this thing.
Exactly.
You got to fight.
You committed to this shit now.
You're going to feel like a chump because you didn't react to what I just said. So we're in this for a long haul. So then it ended up him saying, don't do Fat Man Scoop remixes because he'll sue you. And I left it at that. I was like, got it. Thank you. But what I wanted to continue it by saying, so now am I lame or should I just be concerned that Fat Man Scoop's not going to pay or Fat Man Scoop's going to sue me, or am I both? Like if I really wanted to have fun with it.
Right?
And this dude even tried dragging SZA hands into it. He tagged SZA like big bro, help me out. Of course, SZA didn't give a shit and he didn't respond, but people are bored. Bottom line.
Yeah. I get that.
And everyone's got something to say. And that's fine. But if you want attention, man, you guys, we got to be careful on how we try to get attention and be a little bit more creative than just seeing your friends chop someone down and jumping in on that or the idea of it.
Look, on the Mag Park Instagram, we have a nice, decent following. And every now and then we'll get a kid that'll just go fake. Like that shoe's
every
fake.
Now and then. That's like every day for y'all.
And then, yeah, probably. And then we'll go and say like, yo, are you dumb? Like, blah, 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 right? Like, and we'll have the interaction. Okay, it's me having the interaction.
Oh yeah, I didn't want to throw you under the bus, but yeah.
It's usually
I know it's been you for the last 5 years.
It's always me that
like,
goes after these kids and roast them.
Yeah.
But reality is, all right, cool. You want to roast us? What's up? And then and then I'm gonna say 90% of the time they won't have a comeback. They'll come back and be, oh my God, you talked to me.
Yeah.
They just want the attention.
And you gave it to them.
Last night, well, if they want the smoke, I'll give them the smoke.
Right? Before you continue, the difference is we don't know who those kids are. We know who these DJs are talking shit on it.
I didn't know who that fool was.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, so they're going to feel like they're never going to find me. They don't know who I am. I can say whoever I want. You know, there's a word from like they're tough guys on.
Well, you're never going to go DJ in that little ass city, right?
No. But I'm just saying, just in general, we all kind of have an idea of who's who. So you should be careful as to what you say, because I see that from a distance and I say, you told me enough about who you are and how emotionally and mentally weak you are to subscribe to this bullshit.
Yeah.
So I'm going to keep my distance when it comes to it.
Right.
And chances are, because it's happened to us before, you will want something from us.
Yeah,
you will want a spot on this or that, or you will want something from DJcity, and they will ask us, do you fuck with this guy? And we will say,
nope.
I don't really like his energy on Twitter, to be honest with you. And DJcity's even told us, no, we won't book this guy on the MikiDz Show because he's this guy off.
Or how he carries himself. Yeah, it's your brand. Your social brand.
So, yeah.
I'll give you another one that like bugs me out, and kind of in a similar lane. And I think I just said something about this last night on Twitter, getting more and more on Twitter now, seeing it all.
Twitter's dangerous.
But very dangerous. And you get sucked into just the tone and the pace of things. But one of the things that I have the biggest problem with is we constantly undermine the platform we have and the voice we have. Because even if we don't have the same following we have on like Instagram or whatever, right? It doesn't translate the same way. But constantly I'm seeing people with a respectable platform and voice retweeting and replying to people who have no platform saying bogus ass shit.
Yeah.
Like, or spitting out propaganda or using videos of people sick at hospitals, but they're videos from 2 years ago or a year ago, and they're relating it to our current situation. Like, you got to remember your responsibility with your platform before you go off and start retweeting like, oh, it's getting spooky or it's getting scary out here, and there's a video of a robot alien looking thing, and that's part of the corona madness. Like, yo, like, know what the fuck you're doing with your platform. You have a voice. Do the research. Read the whole article. So many people will see tonight, right? We'll see Hollywood Unlocked, Shade Room, probably whatever, World Star, and it's going to say LA lockdown.
Yeah.
And people are going to be like, oh, we can't go out. We can't go get food. Go get all the food. Go get all the fucking toilet paper for 1,000 shits. Like, who's shitting that much?
Yeah, and I'll get into this later when I go over like my book recommendations, but I'm not saying go on Twitter and be positive.
Right.
But you know who you are. When you guys sound like fucking clowns when you are saying shit because you're trying to impress the guys that you look up to. There are a lot of older DJs, and just not necessarily old school DJs or old DJs, but there are a lot of DJs that have a following, and typically those are the older DJs because they've been doing it for so long.
Yeah.
And they say some way out, just crazy, stupid, negative shit. And you feel like you want to get on their good side or you want to kiss their ass. Y'all know who you are. Stop that shit. You look like fucking clowns. Bottom line, like,
how
you
really
look
feel,
like
Joe?
clowns. You look like idiots.
How
You
you
look
really feel?
thirsty.
Whoa.
Man.
All right, keep that energy.
Yeah, it's
Joseph
stupid.
Aberdeen Apple, God.
Hey, listen, you know what I'm going to say, though? I'm going to say, fuck it. Do what y'all want to do. This is your life. This is just our opinion.
Yeah.
We don't give a fuck. You live your life. If you feel like talking shit is going to be beneficial for you, you go ahead and you talk that shit.
But we're keeping
You
track.
know what I'm saying?
We're keeping
eye out.
I'm not saying your actions don't come with repercussions, but all I'm saying is live your life. You know, we have to be very understanding in the what we're experiencing right now.
Yep.
And whatever you choose to do, whether that's on social media or out and about in public or whatever, do you.
Yeah,
Do whatever
better
it is
not
what
be
you
living
wanna
in
do.
a glass house.
We got to take responsibility and not to engage into the shit that we personally don't like.
Look,
that's my perspective on that whole thing.
And essentially, that's like one side of the world, right? Like, there's definitely going to be that side. There will always be that side, and there's people that won't necessarily mature the same way. I'll definitely say that this is also given the opportunity for other people to put out a different side of themselves or have different perspectives than their normal pace on socials and stuff like that. So let's try to shine light on that some more.
Yeah.
Not necessarily positive, but balanced and just
Yeah.
reasonable, right? I think I've been very fortunate to have you guys as friends, and we can bounce ideas and things that are going on off each other, whether it just be a IG link or, you know, whatever, a photo and whatnot, and how we're going to handle this. And then, you know, the others out there, even the guys putting out mixes are helping somebody out, right?
Yeah.
So
Absolutely. Yeah.
shout out to, and if you guys do want to go listen to a couple mixes, shout out to Double Down, who's been putting out mixes a bunch of times.
Yep.
Eric Deluxe just put out a pretty dope mix of
Nice.
stuff he just wanted to listen to. And Night Train. Shout out to our boy Night Train.
Night Train.
I haven't gotten around to listen to it, but
To Night Trains?
yeah, but
Yeah,
his fandom is loyal.
Of course.
And you know
Night Train
what?
be putting out mixes just so he can repost everybody else listening.
Everybody else, right? That's what he does.
I'm gonna throw shade at Night Train.
Yeah, to get his mentions.
I'm not gonna talk shit about nobody else.
He
but-
made his merch, and I heard he bought it all for himself. So.
Yeah, man, listen. Hey, Night Train. Let me know when you want another batch.
You mentioned Double Down. Jason asked me to do a mix, so I'm going to do a mix for Double Down.
Hey.
At the
Dope.
end of the weekend, this will already be out, but I told him to do some old school shit. I don't know what, but it's going to be old school.
What's old school? Define old school.
I don't know. I got my 80s crate, the old school hip hop. You got your freestyle. There's like so
That's
much.
old school for you. Think about the
Old
newcomers
school.
coming up. That's ancient.
2000s?
I knew this was coming.
That's
by the way.
ancient.
2000s?
They're gonna be like, what's
Real
this?
lit.
What's
Fuck
Debbie
around.
Deb?
Oh, they going to learn.
Like,
You gonna
they
learn.
like that.
Hey,
Hey, man, it's a great opportunity to learn about that type of shit that you don't
Yeah.
know about. You know?
Yeah, well, you know, at least we got globalization mixes to make.
We got global.
Yeah,
Yo,
that's the one
if-
thing you didn't mention. You know, the mix cloud with the MikiDz from the globalization
Yeah.
mixes. You
Yeah.
know?
I mean, we
Yeah.
could leave that for, you know,
Hey, man, listen,
That's
we got to
always-
plug ourselves before we plug anybody else.
Mixcloud.com/MikiDz, MikiDz. Come check us out. Actually, we've been getting some love on the globalization mixes. I saw, like, as far as numbers. So
Yeah, absolutely.
appreciate y'all.
Yeah.
Make sure to leave comments
Mhm.
and subscribe. You know, click the bell button. Oh, it's YouTube, so do that too.
Yeah.
So good times.
So, all right, walk us through what you guys are doing throughout your day and what you plan to be doing, assuming everything, well, not assuming, when everything is shut down, what's going to be your schedule? What's going to be your daily routines? I'll go first since you
Yeah,
guys-
go ahead, Joe. You seem to have this together.
So this is what, and this can change. I drew this up a couple days ago. I was, this would be great if I had a whiteboard. I don't know what I do with my whiteboard, but it'd be great to put on the whiteboard. So if you guys have a whiteboard, you might want to do this. But just see, like, I'm the type of person that does better when there is like a coach or someone like that involved, someone that, like you have a trainer per se. So I'm setting it up to where I'm checking myself. So I've made a list on the things I'm going to do throughout the day. So, you wake up. I wake up 8 o'clock, get in my journal, brush my teeth, all that stuff, coffee and all that. And then by 9:30, I like to be in a meditative state. So I'll meditate for 15 minutes. And then 10:30, I'll get into music, production. And it's like, I can't even say exactly am I going to be in a creative state or am I going to be too tired to where I won't be creative? You kind of don't know.
Right.
But if you are too tired to be creative, but that's your music time,
Right.
organize. Because when you're creative, you're on the fly, you're not labeling shit properly. You're working on track after track, synth after synth, drums, whatever. So when you're tired, I would suggest and recommend you guys to organize stuff. And then around 11:30, do the lunch thing. 12:30, back in the music. And by that time, I got half of a 5-hour shot in me. So I'm revved up, ready to go. You know what I'm saying?
Whoa, bro, you good?
No, we good.
All right.
What
I was
kind of
clearing
cough
my
did he
throat.
do?
I was clearing my throat. It wasn't a cough.
I don't got the spray around me. All right.
I got you. Don't worry.
Just put it on. All right.
Throw some holy water on him.
2:30.
Shut up.
2:30. I'm working on scratch routines, or I'm
Okay.
just working on cuts.
Yep.
What do I need to work on the most? What do I need to sharpen? And 3:30, back in the music, walk the dogs, eat dinner, and then whatever I feel after that is, my girlfriend, hang out with my girlfriend, of course. But
You got to do that.
He scheduled his girl in there.
yeah,
I see it.
Well, she works too.
Yeah.
She works at
Absolutely.
home, so she's in the bedroom
Not
doing
no
her.
more.
She's
Oh, works
working
from
with,
home.
she
Works
works
from
from
home.
families.
Gotcha.
Yeah, she works with families. Technically, she has a fans only with families to where she helps them through therapeutic process.
Hey, listen, whatever works. Whatever works.
All right. Yeah. All right.
So I put it all out there to add structure to your day, because if you tell yourself, if you tell yourself, yeah, I got shit to do, I'll do this and that, but if you don't have a structure to it, it's 11:30, and then it's 1:30. And also I've set reminders at every time, at every point. So just a little kick in the butt, like, yo, get back to your shit, or get back, 10:30, do this, 11:30, do that. So I think most of us need structure in our lives. We're conditioned to have some sort of structure. I understand some of you creatives are incredible without structure, but this is what works out best for me.
They believe in deadlines. What time was the last thing you said you were doing?
6 o'clock.
So 3:30 music, then walk the dogs and eat dinner, and then back to it around 6:30. I'll either get into scratching or music, or with Sam, do stuff with Sam. And then I'm trying to be in bed 10, 11, so I can wake up like.
Sam is a woman, by the way, for
Sam
any
is
clarity.
a woman.
But it's good until Rell. Just clarify.
Bro,
I got my guy. I got my guy.
Bro. Come on.
But by 3:30, like, Joe's had a full ass day.
Yeah, that's because Joe woke up at 8 a.m.
Well, yeah, true. That's part one. But I'm just saying, DJs, like, you're not out late. You're not going to be out late.
No.
I mean, it's speaking for LA, right? So there's ways and abilities to be incredibly productive, even if Joe had a gig that night, Danger had a gig that night.
Yeah.
He's already gotten a whole full day worth of productive tasks and things to do. So just be cautious and value your time. I think that's a great format for people to kind of follow.
Yeah. Listen, I think it's extremely easy for us to say what we plan on doing, what our intentions are with all this going on, but to be transparent, it's easier said than done.
100%.
And I'll speak from experience. When this first started, I was motivated. I was inspired. Three of us had conversations about what the possibilities are that we could be doing with all this spare time. And so I came out the gate hot.
Yeah.
I put out a video. I put out, videos. I put out scratch videos. I, was motivated. We was in there working on production. We were doing all this shit. And then I don't think it was because it was the first weekend. Like, all right, the gigs got canceled. It was the first weekend. And then the week came, and then you're like, okay, I'm not working for a second weekend in a row. And then that's when shit started to really like settle in. Like, this is some real shit going on.
Yeah.
And it started to leave like a distaste with me. Like, just making me feel real uncomfortable, really at ease, and just being like, then I started to get unmotivated, uninspired. You know what I mean? And just like, and now it's just getting back to that point, like you're saying, finding some sort of structure to keep your mind busy and away from everything that's going on right now and the negative things that's going on, and understand that there is an end to all this, and if you just keep the positivity going and working on it. So I think it's easy. But there are times where I'm like, yo, I got to step away from all this shit. I'm going to go play a video game, or I'm going to watch a movie, or I'm going to go do all this shit. So I'm not going to sit here and say that I am making the most of the time that I have.
Yeah.
I am reading. I am, working on organizing music, downloading new music, scratching, working on routines, thinking about what mixes, if I want to put out a mix, because I understand the game is about to be flooded with mixes. So thinking about if I want to put one out and if it's going to get lost in the mix or some shit like that or whatever.
No pun.
But there are times where I feel like I got to step away from that shit. And I will say this. I'm extremely appreciative of this time because of the time I get to spend with my fiance and being able to, learn her and get to know her on a whole nother level, because we don't spend this much. We spend a lot of time together, but not this much time together.
Right.
We still in the same space, but still have our individual time alone.
Right.
If that makes sense. But I'm appreciative of that. I'm appreciative that I get to have conversations with my boy and just be able to pick his brain on a whole nother level, because now we got the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And as opposed to being like, we need to talk about this because this shit got to get done or whatever it is. But like, yo, we got time. So
Right.
Let's really hone in on what needs to be get done. What's the priorities, et cetera, et cetera. What's the plan for when all this is said and done? So it's, like I said, it's easy to say, I'm going to do this. I want to do that. I want to do this. But, I want to be realistic and being like, this shit is hard.
Yeah, for sure.
And I can imagine it's hard for a lot of people and maybe harder on some than others. And my suggestion or my advice would be like, whatever, do what at the moment is making you feel comfortable. Whatever is making you just stay in a sane state of mind.
Yeah.
And not just like you're forcing yourself to do something. Like, you know what I mean? Like if you're forcing yourself, I think that does more harm than it does helping. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong.
No, you can't force.
Yeah, if you try to force yourself to find some sort of structure. I think Joe's absolutely right. And a structure will definitely help you in the long run. And getting into a routine where it's just like, okay, this is good. And now I'm starting to see that my time is being utilized to its fullest potential.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm starting to, really elevate, whether that's my scratching or I'm starting to elevate with my mind and how I approach certain things in certain situations. You just growing as a person.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that's absolutely a great way to do it. And I think at time, there will be a time when you start to get into those things. But realistically, like, listen, you want to sit on your ass for 4 hours and stuff your face with ice cream and chips and watch movies and video games?
So much fun.
If that's what's going to help you, by all means, do that. Again, that's unhealthy if you do it too much. But if that's what's going to help you, by all means, you know what I mean? Like, do that. Do what, what's going to help you.
Right?
Obviously, exactly. In moderation. And make sure that, you are taking this time to, like, do some self-reflecting and understanding what it is and try to take your focus on the negative stuff. And again, it's hard. It's extremely hard.
Yeah. I think, I'm sure we'll get into how, in specifics, we're adjusting or planning for the future in regards to the specific topic right now where we're kind of looking ahead at how we're going to consume our time, specifically for us in this lockdown. I think for me, it's kind of, I'm looking for the blessing in disguise. And sometimes when things are difficult, it's a hard thing to find, right? And in my case, I'm heavily invested into my business, and transparently more in my business than in the DJ world of my life.
As you should be.
Let alone my family. Like, definitely looking forward to spending more time with my family. But on the DJ side of things happen very fast for me. And I think I've been really blessed to be in a chair with some great people around me that things have moved along pretty quickly with our seniority, experience, and network that we've built over a decade plus. So that side of things, I now have an opportunity to get to step back and reflect and go back into the different hard drives that I used to be tapped into, or organizing my music, not just downloading the day of and then seeing, maybe I'll sneak this in. Like, I'll actually have some time to really contribute to that side. I would love to put out a mix that's kind of eternal, right? Because as you mentioned, like, if you do a mix that comes to new music or things that are going, I'm sure that's going to be everywhere. Yeah. So I think as long as you have a long lasting kind of, eternal sound, I think that'll be something dope to put together. I would love to put something together as a unit. And then on the business side of things, I think for us, it's just things move really quickly for us, and we've had to adapt. And right before this podcast, I got wind of the whole like LA lockdown thing at midnight. Tonight? It's now
this is like
7:30, and I'd be lying to you if I wasn't freaking out. But I just started grabbing shit and putting it away and locking it up. So there's tons of conversations of potential looting and theft and things like that we have to worry about. And so beyond that, there's 20 young children that I staff that won't have any income, for the next couple weeks.
Yeah.
I have tons of friends that own small businesses that have showed me letters where they're laying off their entire staff.
Jeez.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's a real thing. And I think there's a couple things that I fall back on in moments like this. And, I think it's definitely, if I didn't have faith of some sort, I think I would be freaking out a little more.
Mm-hmm.
But there's always that kind of quote, and I can't remember where I heard it or how I heard it, or maybe me and Sean Andre were talking about it once. But, you gotta, if you're a seed, you gotta get put underground for you to grow and blossom one day. And sometimes we get put underground and we're in moments and we don't know how the fuck we're gonna do it. But the reality is we always come out on top. Today we're breathing, we're alive. That's the blessing. There's a lot of people that didn't have that blessing today.
Yeah.
Or yesterday.
True.
Or last week. And we have the ability to speak and talk to our audience and more. And I'm extremely happy that we're using that today while we can. And again, hour by hour, step by step, day by day, we'll just build back up and figure it out from there. Whatever's in our control, we'll work with them.
I will say this situation, it was supposed to happen.
Yeah.
This virus it was supposed to happen. And it is up to us to be creative and do what we have to do to move forward. And I've always taken that approach, and obviously the level of degree of this is much more serious, but whether you lose a job or whether someone passed away or whatever, you didn't get a booking, from the smallest degree to the largest, it was supposed to be like this. So once you accept that and you've really wrapped your head around it, you will feel a little bit more at ease and say, all right, I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to go in a direction. I don't know where I'm going to go. I don't know how I'm going to get to where I want to go or where I need to be, but I'm just going to move forward. Like to the point of you doing a mix, not doing a mix. All those people listening to mixes. They're not all listening to everyone's mix.
Yeah.
You're following is what I'm saying. So why not have something for your following? And it gives you a chance to be heard. This is who I am. And I understand everyone's doing the same thing. That's fine. Not everyone's following everybody.
Yeah.
So why not do that or do what you have to do? And again, in regards to what you were saying about feeling down, and it's like you look at the big picture and you just say, fucked. All right. Now, the book you're reading that I recommended, The Art of Learning by Josh Waitzkin, later on, you'll read later on, he gets into there are two types of people in the world. The people that see something and say, oh man, I could never do that, or oh, that's impossible. You got those people. And then you got the people that see things and they see how great it is. They see how incredible it is. And they say, man, I'm going to figure that out. I don't know when, I don't know how, but little by little, I'm going to figure that out. And that's all this is. We're in uncharted territories right now. So if you can break anything down. This is, just from what I've learned in my 36 years on this earth, you can break anything down as opposed to looking to the bigger picture. When you look at the bigger picture, it's scary. It can be scary. But when you break it down into increments and figure out how do I build with these small pieces, you will build up momentum. You will get the right thoughts in your head. I'm not a big fan of, as of late, I'd say within the last year maybe, I haven't been a big fan of positive thinking because you're going to feel how you feel, right? Instead of being positive, I suggest you guys tapping into just having neutral thoughts. You don't have to be negative, okay? You shouldn't be negative, but just because you don't have to be negative doesn't mean you have to be positive.
Right.
It's just about maintaining neutral thoughts. That's another book I've read. It Takes What It Takes by Trevor Moawad, who's basically a mental fitness coach for Russell
Wilson.
Wilson and Alabama throughout their success, and Florida State's national championship team.
Now Georgia.
And he's coached Drew Brees when he was a rookie, and Peyton Manning or Eli Manning. Yeah, he's been all over the SEC. So his approach is, you if you're negative, it can be 10 times worse. So just stop saying stupid shit. It's okay if it's inside you, because that's your natural reaction, but don't put it out there. And if anything, you take the feelings out of what you're doing. Imagine you have something to do. Oh, I don't want to do it. Or, oh man, it's too much, because you feel some type of way about it. If you take the feelings out and just execute, you'll get the shit done. You'll execute, you'll get your job done, and you'll move forward. And then you get the snowball of just moving forward and building momentum.
Well, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
With that approach, you're saying you take the feelings out of it and you just execute. Does the end result still come out? Does the quality still come out at the same level that you want it, as opposed to just being like, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I will say, if you're going into it with a negative mindset, first of all, you wouldn't have even gotten to the end result if you would have maintained that negative mindset. Okay. You wouldn't even started.
What I like what he says is, what you believe is what's going to happen. It's like what you say will happen. What you say is what you believe. So it just comes down to what you say, right? If it's negative, it'll more than likely be negative. If it's positive, well, then you have a better chance, but it doesn't guarantee you to get there without the work.
Yeah.
So I love that about that. I think what maybe we can do is also, they're all great points. How does it apply when we have people who haven't done anything else other than what they know? So we're in a space right now, and I can say this based on my observation of a lot of the people that also listen to our podcast. They're DJs. Most of them are DJs. Most of them don't do anything but DJ.
Yeah.
So how can they execute? How can they be positive when there's not a new thing? It's hard, right? So where's the approach? What are we attacking? There's no game to attack. There's no crowd to attack.
Right. And that's why I think creativity is king. Because if you're in a negative mindset, you're creative. There will be no creativity. You'll just be slumped over and feeling like shit. So if you get into a neutral space and you ask yourself, what can I do? Whether it's the same or different than what's going on, how can I just, and sometimes it starts out with doing the same shit everybody else is doing, like a mix, like a routine. And then once you have your mind set and you're not in a negative space, that will turn into something else, and that will evolve into something else. It's all about evolving what you have in front of you. And throughout that process of trying to figure out the next thing and being creative, you're not negative. You're just in the zone, in the space of evolving and being creative.
Yeah.
Now, I don't have the answers for you, like, this is what you're going to have to do. That's up to you. We're all different. Some of us specialize in things better than others, and we have strengths in different areas. So it's up to you to figure out, first of all, you got to figure out who the hell you are. You got to know who you are.
It's perfect timing for that.
And what your strengths are. That's why I encourage, and I'll give a list of books to help you get to that point. But yeah, this is the perfect time to figure out who you are, what your strengths are, what makes you tick, what sets you off, what sets you on. There's a lot of self-reflecting, you got to dive in here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when you figure out who you are, that's when things will start opening up, and you'll say, oh, you know what? I feel good when I do this. And you want to feel good with everything you do, right? And I'm not concerned about what other people think. I'm just going to put this out. I'm going to put this out. I don't care how many views I get. I don't care what the thoughts are. I'm just going to put shit out, and I'm going to feel good about it. And that's not forcing anything. That's just doing what feels good.
Do you think with that being said, right, you saying put stuff out without caring about what anyone thinks, whether regardless of how many likes you get or whatever, do you think that pressure is now on more because of the situation that we're in now, as opposed to
pressure to what, to get
to the pressure of wanting to get X amount of likes or wanting to please other people.
It shouldn't fucking matter at all. Right?
I mean, I understand that, and I agree with you 100%. Actually. But let's be realistic. To a lot of people, that matters.
But what is the value?
But I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm saying realistically, we know there are people out there that exist. We know people out there exist that matters to them. When they post something or whatever, they care that they get X amount of likes or X amount of, or they get a response from.
I hear you.
Whatever.
And I'm gonna tell you and not to challenge you, but to kind of like really put some perspective on it. Influencer marketing has been one of the largest things that people have dealt with the last couple years.
Yep.
That
$1 billion
business is dead.
Like you think people, so now?
Huh?
You think more so now?
You can't sell shit right now if it's not essential.
Okay.
This is coming from someone who's built a brand, and we've had sales literally up until yesterday. People were still pulling up to the ball, buying shit that they didn't really need.
Yeah.
But that came from the whole like, I don't know what's gonna happen. Yeah. It didn't come from like, I need this.
Yeah. Plus they might be bored.
Well, yeah, they got there's nothing else to do but I'll get some Yeezys. But like influencer marketing for the most part, which has been on the decline unless you're on TikTok. I'm not trying to like shine light on that shit.
That's why everybody named mama's doing TikToks.
But essentially, I mean, it's uncontrolled algorithm. Yeah. It's the most opportunity you'll have to like get exposure at the moment organically, and it's not controlled. The only thing is it's from China, so like beware.
Well, conspiracy theory. Chinese started TikTok. Chinese started the virus.
Man, Chinese started everything. We need to be thankful for those motherfuckers. Let's be real.
Anyway,
no, don't take it. I'm just kidding.
I don't think that the amount of pressure that people already had to get engagement and impressions on their social media is what it is now, because we can't do anything else. I think what it will do is force more eyes onto the platforms. But I think essentially going back to what Joe's referring to is the ability to be creative and think outside the box is really important more than ever today, because you may only know one route, but this is a wake-up call for a couple things. Number one, protect your chicken, right?
Yeah.
Save up, be ready for any time, because funny enough, people may think that this isn't a traditional recession, but it's a recession.
Yeah.
I don't care how you dress it up. You put lipstick on it. You put cologne on it. It's a recession.
Yeah.
And whether it came via bad financial moves or it came from this virus, everything is being affected. And we're literally kind of still at the tip of the iceberg, because we're now being told April 19th is a tentative date that this lockdown be over. And that's a month away. And we haven't even been 2 weeks out from all businesses being cut down.
Yeah.
What happens every 2 weeks? Everybody gets paid.
Yep.
So the moment when now we're talking about 3 pay periods that are going to be missed, you're talking about desperation, not knowing what to do. Not every landlord's going to be forgiving or understanding or waiting.
Yeah.
Not every mortgage company's waiting, like, sitting there. Shit, I got an email today. Car payment.
Oh yeah,
we're gonna need that.
It's not gonna stop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I hear what you're saying. I'm specifically talking about our industry, and not to take away from what you're saying and what you got going on. I understand about, like you said, the essentials and sales and everything, and people are losing their fucking jobs, like literally losing their livelihood out here, and it's fucked up.
Yeah.
But speaking specifically on our industry, which we all know that it is, our industry is definitely social heavy. You know what I'm saying? Like,
sure,
having a social presence it works for you in your favor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And now with like bringing you back to your point, more eyes being on it than normal.
Yeah.
Does that not bring more pressure to someone who makes a living off of, you know what I'm saying, having a social presence? Does that not bring more pressure onto someone, someone that is trying to figure out their branding and putting stuff out there? Does that not put more pressure on that person when they're looking to get recognized or, whatever.
I don't think so because nobody's buying. There's nobody to buy your impressions.
Right now, but at the end, there will be. Eventually, this will all be over. So at the end,
Sure.
Joe's has said this numerous times. At the end, you better have your game up on par, right? This is the time for you to be working on your branding. We constantly talk about branding.
Yeah.
We constantly talk about, knowing what your identity is, as Joe keeps saying. So what are we doing this for at the end of the day, right? Why are we here to continue to do all this stuff?
It's an opportunity.
It's an opportunity to up your branding, because at the end of the day, this is all going to be over.
Yeah.
Right? And then shit is going to go back to the way it was. And then the people who were constantly got themselves into a routine, constantly practice whatever it is they want to practice, got creative, were able to get out there, work on their branding, evolved, whatever, out of all this. Mm-hmm. At the end of the road, those are the people that are, like they say, the phoenix rise from the ashes, right?
Yeah.
That's going to be that person.
Yeah.
Right?
I will say this, and I'm going to tap back into my insecurities, and I've expressed this on this pod before. Last year, I was feeling insecure, and I think it's the same insecurities other DJs have. And I felt like I was a prisoner in my own skin. And what I mean by this is,
gained a little weight.
I gained 2 pounds.
It's my insecurity every day.
Don't go get Peloton. So when I was insecure about producing live, creating live. Okay. So what I did was I went on Instagram Live, and it wasn't, to me, it was like, I'm like, I had a pep talk with myself, like, man, fuck this. Fuck what people think of you. Fuck how you feel what people think of you.
Yeah. Keep going.
So fuck what they think of you. You're going to do this, and you're going to feel great after, because you're getting a monkey off your back. So what I did was I started producing.
I just want to see what kind of vehicle it was.
Yeah, they would look like they were kind of moving slow for being an emergency.
Yeah, these guys were going the speed limit. It's Burbank.
Right. True. Go ahead, Joe.
I don't want to get pulled over.
It stopped at the light.
So I wanted to get out of that feeling. So I started producing. I went on Instagram Live and started creating live. It wasn't about dopeness or engagement or whatever. It was just about doing something live, and that felt good. And then at that time, I had not posted any cuts. I didn't post any cuts on my feed, because I would look at a Jay Espinoza or Four Color Zach or any of these guys, and I'd be like, man, if I don't sound like them, I don't want to post my shit.
Yeah.
Because I feel you have to sound like that to post shit.
Mm.
So I told myself, man, who cares if your shit sounds wild amateur? Who cares if your shit sounds wild below par? Like, I'm not posting because of my insecurities. Like, fuck it, man. Like, post this is who you are.
Yeah.
Right.
Now you're going to get better because you're going to practice.
Right.
But this is who you are. Why are you holding back? Because you're afraid it's not going to get the same engagement as those guys, or it's not going to be revered, or people aren't going to talk about it, or there's a million different reasons why you wouldn't post. Why should any of that affect be who you are and expressing, this is who I am. This is who I am. Above average cuts, above average beats, and things are getting better. Like, I don't give a fuck what you guys think, and that needs to be the attitude right now. And after I did that, I felt so good. I felt liberated. I felt relieved. I felt like I got this big monkey off my back, and the weight of the shoulders is off my back, and it just felt incredible. And that's the type of feeling you need moving forward, especially in a time like this, is because then you can feel like you can do anything, or you're going to want to do anything. Oh shit, man, I can do this. I'm wild pedestrian at this. Let me do this. I'm not saying you got to post everything, but it'll open up so much more inside, and it'll inspire you to do more. And again, in times like this where it feels like the hours and minutes are moving slow, before you know it, it's the end of the day, and you're going to feel good because of everything you just accomplished.
Yeah.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? But it also starts where you start plays a big role. What you eat in the morning, or for those of you that don't eat in the morning, it depends on what you eat in the afternoon. I don't eat in the morning. I just have the bulletproof coffee, and then I have like a full shake of nutrients in the afternoon. but I also don't soak up any gossip, any news, or like the Joe Budden podcast. I won't listen to that in the morning. As entertaining as it is, I won't listen to that in the morning. Too early for that shit.
That's my coffee.
It's too early for all that.
Yeah.
And not that it's, and again, the way we all have different views on the Joe Budden podcast. For those that listen, you either hate it or you love it. Genius. And you're some of you are in the middle. Yes, they are gods, but pod gods.
Pod gods.
But I would rather soak up different information. I would rather watch videos on the laws of attraction, or just watch videos that will help me grow, or listen to my books while I'm cleaning, while I'm disinfecting everything. Or
you don't read your books,
whatever it
Joe?
is. No, Audible, baby.
This whole time.
So, and it if you we've talked about this before on the pod. If you wake up, roll over before you fucking wash your mouth out, you're checking out the updates. You see so-and-so has it, this guy has it. Some of you are going to feel fucked for the rest of the day. And you can avoid that by not looking at your phone or not diving into what the latest updates are. Nothing's changed. You still got to be home. You still got to be productive and in your own shit. So you don't have to jump into that before 12 p.m.
So you don't get to your phone till 12 p.m.?
I don't get to the gossip before.
Because I was about to say, I definitely get some 9 a.m. text messages from your ass.
No, yeah. When I see the emails and texts roll in.
Well, and we just found out you don't
I'll go straight to my mentions and see who's showing love, and I'll show love back.
Well, and we just recently discovered you get morning memes before morning kisses.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah, so I'm trying to figure out when you get your morning kisses.
Sam and I have a thing where it's like, before we pick up our phones, we have to kiss each other and say good morning, acknowledge each other. But I don't like she'll playfully, when I say playful, that's like 25% serious, 75% playful.
Okay.
She will playfully be mad at me if I don't show her love before that. But she knows.
The setup was that for the space.
But she knows when I turn my phone on, when I'm having my coffee and I'm sitting in my recliner and I'm in my journal, she knows I'm not even on the internet. So she knows I'm not going through bullshit before I say anything to her. I'm doing something that's putting me in a neutral state, uplifting, inspiring, etc.
Yeah.
So,
Well, yeah, and everybody's built different, right? Like, I mean, Rell and I work out with the same trainer, and Rell prefers to work out in the morning. I prefer to work out in the middle of the day. You love how that picks you up and gets you going.
If I don't work out in the morning, it's not happening, bro.
See,
my energy is different.
Yeah, and I use it as a pivoting moment in my day to get away from work, take a break, and come back, and then go back at it. Yeah. And it helps me get through my day. And so everybody's kind of built differently. I think, at the end of the day, essentially what works for you is definitely what you should focus on. And, ultimately this kind of boils down to some simple practices, which we've always constantly discussed it, but, the right answer or the right thing to do or the correct thing to do or the correct things to invest your time into, we all know what they are for us, right? At the end of the day.
Yeah.
What I was getting at, just to clear the air, I had a tweet where I wasn't subtweeting you.
Oh, yeah.
Because you were asking for
books and PS4
and
games.
PS4 recommendations.
Yeah.
And I had this tweet where it said, if you're
asking for PS4
if you're wondering why you didn't level up during this quarantine, and go back and refer to your PS4 recommendations tweet.
Yeah.
But I think what you did a really good job earlier in the podcast was that you clarified was that those, let's call them the games, right? Like video games, to you is more of a walk away or a release. It's like, the traditional, I'm gonna go smoke a cigarette outside.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's the take a breath away from what I'm already doing in the lab, in and out. Because we all need our healthy walk away to clear our minds. And we don't have the luxury to walk around the corner or make a food run or whatever. We'll keep making a food run, but we won't have the luxury to do the same things that we once were doing. So you clarified that when earlier.
Oh yeah, and I mean, to my defense, I never ever, you could ask Andre this, I'll never play video games ever. I own a PS4 and I never do it. And I looked at it like, oh, this might be an opportunity for me to get into a game that will potentially maybe help, the fact that a video game, we have to use our hands, can help me with my hands on the turntables.
Sure.
Hand-eye coordination and whatnot. I always try to look at, if I'm going to do something, how is it going to help me evolve in life? You know what I'm saying? If I watch a movie, it's I'm watching shots. How is it editing? What are the verbiages that they're using, et cetera, et cetera. You know what I mean? Same thing with videos, listening to mixes. Everything that I try to do is some way helping me evolve.
For sure.
You know what I mean? As opposed to just looking at it like, yo, you're not doing shit with your time.
Right.
This might be the X factor in all this on what to do with the free time. Find something that challenges you. When you are challenged and you're invested in that challenge, you take your mind off of everything and you are trying to figure out how to win or how to do whatever you got to do to get the end result. If you're really into video games, you figure out how to, in the video, if you're into scratching, figure out that one scratch that's just you can't figure out. Yeah. Break it down, and before you know it, 30 minutes is gone, an hour is gone. Find challenges in whatever you're doing, and where I suggest you guys start is with yourself. Figure out why you react to your woman this way, why you react to your kids this way, or your friends, and tap into that and say okay, and just do a deep dive and just figure out where you can be better, and then that will. Everything's relative in life, right? Yeah. Everything is relative. It's all connected. That when you have more clarity on who you are and what your interests are, you will have more clarity on your brand. And we talked to Sackman well. He said find 3 things that define your brand. And those 3 things should define you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So when you figure out who you are, you'll do a better job of not only figuring out your brand, but conveying to the world, this is my brand. And when people see something as organized and intact and it looks and feels right, they will subscribe to what you're doing and they'll have an interest. But people know when something feels off or forced or fake or doing it for money or whatever.
With that being said, to piggyback off what you were saying earlier, okay, this is about a week since we've been quarantined, correct?
Sure.
That we have been doing this. What's one thing that you guys have learned about yourself in this time, this extra time that we've had, that you guys feel? Let me add on to that question. Either one thing you learned about yourself or your significant other or a family member that you weren't aware of. Like,
well, one thing I've learned about myself is I've been preparing for this, but
or this moment?
Well, I've been, that's what I'm saying. I haven't been preparing for a virus. But no, I feel like in all my practices and exercises and mental exercises and challenges that I purposely put myself through to be mentally tougher, I'm aware that I'm in a good place right now.
Yeah.
I'm in a really good place mentally. And I'm aware there's a mortgage around the corner and there's this and that around the corner. But as I walk around my house and go about my day, I hardly think of it. And when I do think of it, it's in one ear and out the other, or it pops up and then it disappears because I've exercised and trained myself to not allow this to affect me. And if there's one place to learn how to be strong as something, is being thrown in the fire and learning in that moment. So this is a good time. If some of you feel like you're not there yet, this is a good time to exercise your mental toughness and get creative and do everything we just said. So,
I don't know if I've learned anything new, and I don't want that to come off the wrong way, but I think if anything, maybe I've learned that I'm stronger than before, because the reality is, I've been through way worse a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. And arguably world could have fell apart. And then those moments and those experiences helped me learn that all of this that's happening, it's a piece by piece, case by case situation, and I'm actually appreciative of where we are, at least for now.
Yeah.
You know, because at the end of the day, like we mentioned before, like we're not educating the situation. We're not here to spread the conspiracies. We're not here to break down or understand what's going on. But what we do know is that it's affecting everybody.
Yeah.
And I think being able to kind of step away, because, you know, I'll come in here, record a podcast with you guys, stay, work on our website, then make phone calls, be back here in the morning and starting emails at home, and then coming back here, doing the same thing, working out, and then back training for a fight. Like life is happening so quickly. And I think having, and I'm going to say this in this manner, and I take a lot of pride in it, having the luxury to have life slow down a little bit.
Yeah.
And give our earth some time to heal as well, with all the maneuvering, all the moving, all the emissions, everything else, and giving us all a little bit of that extra, you know, being able to take our time with things.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm grateful for this moment. And I think I'm confident coming out a better man, better son, better brother, better podcaster, hopefully. You know what I mean? Like we all got to take advantage of this and use it for what it is, you know? And so I'm excited. I hope nobody has to deal with any you know, situations or circumstances with their health. You know, pray over those and their families and friends. And I think you know, we'll all come out good on this, man. Yeah. It's just about taking our time, adjusting. You might just see us on what is that, Zoom? Is that what it is?
Yep.
The app. So we'll do our best, man. And
just they won't let us leave the house to record.
Hope, you know, we'll say we're going to the handy market.
Exactly. Down the street.
And then just pull in here. Yeah, I think that's the one part where I'm still gonna try and figure it out, because and hopefully this also helps with people listening. But, you know, call your vendors, call your bill utility people, like have a conversation with them, call your credit cards, call your bank. Like most of these people have a heart, you know. I've been dealing with a long-term IRS situation with whether it be personal, business, or whatever. Yeah. Those people are understanding. They understand what we're going through. Having conversations with them, minus the car payment. Well, shout out to Wells Fargo. Y'all wanted my money. You got it. But Apple Card, credit card. Literally all you do is
you just got to enroll.
Just enroll. Text them yes, and then they're like, all right, cool. We'll hit you. Don't make a payment. You won't incur interest this month. We'll roll it over. No interest. All good.
And if for any of you guys that have the Apple Card, they're doing that for you.
Yeah. So just try and have a conversation with everybody, landlords, banks, whatever. Like, I think we all understand that we're going through some things, and take it step by step, day by day.
Before we get out of here, I wanted to make some book recommendations.
Audiobooks.
Audiobook. Well, I mean, if you want to read too.
And Joe's giving these recommendations because I posted a tweet like a week ago saying that I always make the excuse
about a week ago.
I always make the excuse about, I don't have time to read and I would like to get more into reading, because I was somewhat of an avid reader a couple years ago.
So when he gave you a book recommendation and he said you started reading, you were reading or you were listening?
I'm sorry?
Were you reading the book that are you reading or are you listening to?
I'm reading. Okay. Yeah. I like to read because it helps my vocabulary.
Okay.
You know what I mean? As opposed to listening to it.
Yeah.
Like if you say a word to me, I go, okay, and I can get the content of what it means. Yeah. But I don't know how to spell it. You get what I'm saying?
And you can look it up right there.
And I can look it up right there. So if I come across a word in a book that I'm like, what the fuck does this mean?
Right.
I can look it up right then and there. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I like to read, but I do it on my iPad. I don't buy a hard copy of the book.
Oh, right.
I get the digital copy.
Yeah.
All right. So first book, Find Your Why by Simon Sinek. This is incredible for branding. He's got this thing called the golden circle where you start with your why, then your how, then your what. The problem with a lot of companies these days, especially the ones that don't last long, They start with their what, then their how, then their why. Their what, for example, maybe we got a discount on these cars, as opposed to why do we sell cars? Well, and the answer can't be a monetary reason. It can't be because we want to make
more money.
You know, like Apple, their why is clear. Apple's the best example. Their why is clear, and then they eventually end up in, do you want to buy a computer? Yeah, the fruits too. Yeah. So yeah, big. That's a big one for your brand. And then he followed that up with the infinite game, finite versus infinite. You know, infinite being the short term of whatever industry you're in, as opposed to doing things for the long term and having an everlasting career in something. He just came out with that last year. It takes what it takes. Trevor Moawad, again, take the emotion out of your decision. You don't have to be positive, but avoid being negative. This is one of my favorites, Relentless by Tim Grover. He basically breaks down coolers, closers, and cleaners. Coolers being good, closers being great, and cleaners being unstoppable. This guy, I've said this before on the pod, he's responsible for 16 NBA titles. Jordan discovered him, and he's worked with Kobe, Dwayne Wade, etc. He's got this, he talks about this one part of the book. He says all these great athletes and great people have a challenge away from the game that keeps them, because the game can be so easy. So, for example, he uses Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
What was Tiger Woods' challenge away from the game? Hooking up with all these girls, right?
Yep.
Trying to continue to get away with that. And he was on fire. He was unstoppable. You take those girls out of the situation.
His game was fucked.
And a lot of guys, whether it be porn or chocolate or whatever it is, he calls it the dark side. So he tells you like how to control.
You might fuck some people up with this, because they might use that as an excuse
for what,
to like step out or do whatever it is.
They're already doing it.
I mean, I'm granted, I already understand. I'm saying you're not celebrity people.
Right. But, and as I said before, find a challenge away from the challenge, whether it be learning a scratch or whatever. Okay. That's Relentless. 48 Laws of Power, classic. Like all the greatest leaders have known to have that book on their bedside. It's about the greatest rulers doing why they were successful at what they were doing. The Art of Learning, which is a book Rell's reading now. Again, two types of people. People that look at the big picture and say, I can never do that. And then there are people that look at the big picture and say, I'll figure out how to do that. And they figure it out in increments. This guy they made a movie about him. He was a world chess champ at 11 years old, grandmaster.
8, right?
8? Yeah. And then he stopped playing chess. He was over it, and then became like not a grappling, but a Tai Chi master. Yeah. Like, and this guy wasn't athletic, but through fundamentals and breaking things down and learning how to learn, he became a master at this other field of work that has nothing to do with chess. And another one that's a fun read, and this helped uplift me during some low times. The Obstacle is the Way. Every story in this book is about how the obstacle of this individual or this situation, it was supposed to happen for this guy or this company to get to where it's at now in a successful place. So a lot of you will be able to relate to these stories, especially with what's going on now. Those are my recommendations.
Yeah. I think a good one for music people in the industry, and I think you recommended me this book a couple of years back, was Steve Stout's book, Tanning of America.
Oh, The Tanning of America.
Man,
that was a long time ago.
That was a minute ago, but it's a great book.
For Brandon.
Great book. Conversations with God was actually a really good one. I read that when I was like my senior year in high school. I mean, those are some just to add on to that list.
Steve Stout in that book, just to inspire you guys to go out and read that as well. He broke down Tommy Hilfiger's situation.
Yo, bro.
And long story short, Tommy was selling out of his store in some small community stores, right? It wasn't like a big retail store. and he noticed. He went out to the schoolyards and saw what kids were wearing, how they were
on
wearing
the streets in New York and stuff like that. He was heavy out there.
He was heavy, and he saw that kids love showing their boxers.
Yep.
So he put Tommy Hilfiger on the boxers. Another one was, in regards to Tommy, there was this big billboard in Times Square. It was Gap, Guess, DKNY, I believe, and then there was a Tommy Hilfiger logo with no words. And everyone was like, what is that fourth logo?
Yeah.
I know all three of those except for that logo. So there was a big, everyone's trying to figure it out. So people started talking. And just like today, everyone back then wanted the new exclusive, hard to find stuff. So that's a part of the Tommy Hilfiger story and why he blew. Yep.
I'll make a final book recommendation. I guess we could get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
We won't let's not do music picks since we have book picks.
Yeah, there you go.
The Bible.
The
Go
Bible.
read the Bible.
Jesus.
Talk to him.
Go read the Bible.
Or
whatever,
Now you're looking at God, huh?
Whatever
you
works
can't
for
leave your
you.
house. Now you want to pray to God, huh? Keep that same energy when the shit is over.
Get yourself the Bible. I pray over you, and I have a random fact already lined up for
It's
y'all.
awesome.
The most expensive book ever purchased was sold for $30.8 million.
What book was that?
And it was the Codex Leicester by Leonardo da Vinci.
Oh, wow.
And it was purchased by Bill Gates.
Of course. Oh, man. Listen. Oh, you know what? We're going to talk about that off camera.
All right.
Appreciate y'all for tuning
Yes,
in.
sir.
Episode
Yes.
38, MikiDz Podcast.
Wash your hands.
Wash your hands.
Yes, please. Stay safe out there, guys
We out.
and ladies.
Peace.